You are in a relationship with the defendant's mother.
That is correct.
For how long?
Over a year now.
I assume that when you met the defendant's mother, the defendant was living with her mom.
That is correct, Your Honor.
It is your claim that at some point the defendant and you developed an acrimonious relationship, and that as a result of that, she was asked to leave the home, and in retaliation for that, she slashed your tires.
She was never asked to leave the home. She voluntarily decided she was going to leave the home.
Let's say that that's a given, but it is your claim that as a result of leaving the home, and there's no question she left the home because you were there.
We weren't sure exactly what the reason was. She didn't make a reason as to why she was leaving the home.
She left, and it is your claim that after she left, she slashed 3 of your tires.
That is correct, Your Honor.
Ms. Williams says she did not slash your tires, but that she still has property in the house that she shared with her mother before the 2 of you were in a relationship. Do you live together now?
Yes, ma'am.
When did the 2 of you move in together?
I moved into the home, I want to say the exact time frame was around April of 2023.
And when did you move out of the home, Ms. Williams?
I moved out June 28th of 2023.
So a couple of months later.
Yes.
Tell me the circumstances surrounding your leaving the home.
My mother texted me and said her girlfriend was feeling uncomfortable and she wanted to focus on her and her relationship, and I needed to go and focus on myself.
You have that email. I'd like to see it. Kevin.
Okay, so he's right there.
So you had this discussion with your mother, and what I'm gathering is that you and the plaintiff started to have some nasty texts back and forth.
There was no back and forth, Your Honor. She was just texting me nasty
And you
texts.
have those texts?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
I'd like to take a look at them.
And she also had
your
other people
response
texting
to
me.
your mother is that bum paying bills?
Yes.
Okay. And then your mother tells you right now, time for you to go.
Yes.
And then you say, okay, I just want to grab my TV and bear.
Yeah, I want to at least grab that for tonight, and then I would have came back and got the
Just
rest
to say,
of my
well, that's what I need. Need to unlock the door so I can grab my TV and bear. I assume that's a teddy bear, not an animal?
No, it's a bear.
Okay, let's see the text.
And I never responded to these texts, Your Honor. Thank you so much.
These are just phone messages. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. She put my number on social media, and people were texting me asking for sexual favors.
Just a second.
No problem, Your
You'll
Honor.
get there.
I apologize.
You'll get there.
Yes,
okay,
ma'am.
so you moved out.
Yes.
Now tell me about the tires.
She was moving out, had her things. We know she carries a knife. She's always showing it and bragging
Just a
about
second.
it.
She acknowledges she came back to the house with a knife. She acknowledges that. Is that correct?
Yes.
What kind of a knife?
It's a small pocket knife.
Show me. This I don't understand.
Yeah, oh,
I
my
want
bad.
you to show me. Is it this size
this
when it's
big.
opened? So
Yes.
it's a little bit bigger.
Yeah, just a little
Then
bit bigger than that.
It's a little,
Just a small one that you can fit in your pocket, yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Okay, well, that's a pretty big knife. Okay, so you came back to get your things, and you had the knife with you.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
So we did not confront her while she was getting her things. We looked out the window. We could see her carrying the bags as she was dragging them down the walkway past the apartment building. That was maybe about 1 in the morning. We woke up for work, I say maybe around 6:45 time frame. We go outside, the driver's side tire was completely flattened, and the left side passenger front and the rear passenger side tire, they both had tire slashes in them, and we had to get them all 3 replaced. They were unrepairable due to the puncture in those tires, Your Honor.
Okay.
And I have pictures and documentation for that as well.
The issue is not whether your tires were punctured, but whether you have proof that the defendant did it. The tires were fine when you went to sleep.
Yes, ma'am.
And then the defendant came after midnight,
Yes, ma'am.
collected her things in suitcases.
Mostly like bags, not really suitcases.
How did you get into the house that night? Almost not an answer. Did you have a key?
Yes.
Okay, and nobody had changed the locks.
They changed it the next day.
Nobody
they
had
made it.
changed the locks on you then,
Then, no.
so you were able to come and get things.
Yes.
So now you have to give me proof that she slashed your tires. You can imagine that she did, but what evidence do you have that she slashed your tires?
Your Honor, no one knows, other than the family, that I was living with them at the time in that area. I have no outstanding confrontational beef. I don't have any problems with
With
anyone in the
anybody
neighborhood.
else?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
That's circumstantial, but insufficient in the law that she's the only one that you had a beef with, that fact that she was there. It's not enough evidence for any court, even a court where the quantum of proof is little, that she did in fact slash your tires. The evidence that you have is that you don't have a beef with anybody else, correct?
I don't have any, I didn't have any
And
negative
you
situation.
couldn't think of anybody else who would want to do that, and she was there in the vicinity that night.
Within the time frame, yes, ma'am, Your Honor. She left maybe around 1 o'clock, by 6 in the morning, the tires were slashed.
Well, you weren't out at 1 o'clock in the morning. You went to sleep at what time?
Maybe around 2 a.m., 2:30 a.m.
And then you got up at 6?
Yes, ma'am.
But you hadn't been outside. When did you park the car?
I'm not sure the exact time, Your Honor.
Was it before dinner or after dinner?
Probably before dinner.
And you have dinner at what time?
More than likely, maybe around 10:45 p.m.
10:45.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so your car was parked before 10 o'clock, and the next time you saw it was 6 in the morning. Okay, well, that's a big window. I can't ask her whether or not she slashed your tires. She's going to say no, right?
I'm sorry, but if you're gonna choose some other lady, your girlfriend, over your own children, then maybe I could say it's justified that she slashes your tires. Now, we don't know if she did or not, but the thing that's really alarming about this is that the mother decided that it was best for her to leave so that she could focus on her relationship with some other woman. This is what's so odd to me. When parents decide that they no longer want to have a relationship with their children and they instead would rather choose some person that they probably found on a dating app over their child. It just doesn't make any sense. Now, we're going to see as evidence rolls out whether or not this young lady is in fact the person who slashed the tires. And I'll say this, she admitted to leaving with a knife in her pocket. But does that mean she did it? Well, it to me means that maybe she actually did do it. She also had very big reasons to. I want to know what you guys think. Do you think that she cut the tires or not? Let me know.
I can't ask her whether or not she slashed your tires. She's going to say no, right?
Even if you look at the tires, you can tell the 3, only 1 is flat. If they all got slashed at the same time, they all would be flat.
If it's
But I did
1
not.
or 3. That's not the point.
I did not know.
She told others that she did admit to it.
I did
Oh,
not.
just a second. Who did she admit it to?
Her coworkers, also
Oh, no.
friends.
Do you have a co-worker here? All I need is a witness.
My witness can confirm
That she admitted it to them?
to the other coworkers as well. They work at the same location, Your Honor.
Did your witness, did she admit to slashing the tires to your witness?
She's admitted to both me and my witness that she would do harm to us and to me.
Is this your witness?
Yes, ma'am, this is my fiance.
Your last name is?
Williams.
Miss Williams, this is your daughter.
Yes, ma'am.
You work at the same place?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Did your daughter admit to you anything about the tire incident?
No.
Okay, sit down. Do you have a police report?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
I'd like to see the police report.
Yes, ma'am.
Did the police interview any witnesses?
No, ma'am, they said I had to file domestic violence restraining order, which I did.
Was that granted?
Yes, ma'am, it was.
I'd like to see that too.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, you got a temporary restraining order you got on your own. She wasn't present when you first got it.
Correct.
Did you go back for a final hearing?
She never appeared.
So the answer is you went back
3 times, Your Honor.
and she didn't appear.
She never appeared.
So it was granted on default.
Yes, ma'am.
I never received anything about going to court. The only paperwork they gave me was about the tires. They never presented me with anything.
What I have to tell you is this. Currently, there is a restraining order, that's what she says, against you. And if what you're telling me is you were not properly served, I would move to vacate that order because you're at risk if you don't. I don't actually believe that you weren't notified to come to court on 3 separate occasions. I think that you just decided to be a smart aleck and not go.
I really didn't know.
Really?
I knew my mother had one against me because the cop did mention that when he dropped the paper off.
When your mother filed a restraining order against you, then there was a return date. Did you go to court?
No.
Is not an answer.
Oh,
Did you go to court? Now you're served with a restraining order by your mother, and you got a date. You ignored it.
No, they pushed it back. I didn't get a new court date. That's what I'm saying.
But did you ever go?
Because I had moved.
Just a second. Did you go to the first one?
No,
No, you didn't. You ignored it.
I didn't
And
know
then-
about them.
No, you said you knew about the first one. You didn't know
and
about.
then it got moved. I
Just a
wasn't able
second.
to get to it.
You knew about the first one.
Yes.
Yes, and you didn't go.
Yes, it got moved.
Right. No, had nothing to do with moving. If you knew about the first one, you knew you were supposed to be there the first date. You didn't go, and they adjourned it for another date to give you another opportunity to come. And then you said you moved. Then you say you didn't get the second date. Well, but you got the first date and you ignored it.
The date got moved. That's what I'm saying.
No,
For me to
courts
come in
don't
there.
get moved up. They get pushed ahead, not
What?
moved up. They get pushed ahead if somebody doesn't appear. That would have been you. Didn't appear the first time. Are you trying to confuse me?
No, I'm
Because
just-
I'm old?
No, I would never want to do that.
So far there are 2 protective orders, so your mother has one against you too.
That's what the cops said, yes.
Your mother has one against you also.
Yeah, that's what the cops said.
Do you have a protective order?
So that's why I don't know what's going on all the way.
Ms. Williams, did you file for a protective order against your daughter?
No,
You never did.
no, only my fiance did. I never did.
Oh, okay, fine. Now you can sit down. So the answer is, Ms. Williams, your mother never filed for a protective order against you.
Okay.
Only the plaintiff.
All right.
Okay. So far, we don't have a confession, right?
We had the threats that were made, Your Honor,
To do you harm. That's
which she tried to do.
okay. Ms. Brantley?
Yes, ma'am.
It's not sufficient. I'm telling you, in all probability, Ms. Williams, who's a little bit of a wise guy, did in fact slash your tires when she came to get her things. All probability that happened, but there's no evidence.
She admitted to carrying the knife, Your Honor.
Yes, I know. She told me. I saw it. She took a knife with her. It's not enough evidence to connect her to doing the damage to your car.
What about the credible threats, Your Honor? The threats that she made towards me?
You have a protective order against her, correct? If she violated that protective order, you go back to court and you file a violation of the order of protection. And if they find that that's true, she's going to go to jail for contempt of the order. That's your remedy. You have a protective order that lasts until when?
Right now, Your Honor, we're attempting to locate her. She's not responding to the summons officer's calls or texts.
I have not received
You don't
no
know
calls
her
or texts.
address.
Don't speak. What does that mean? Do you currently have a protective order?
It expired temporarily. We could not summon her.
Oh, well,
We
that's...
don't know where she's located.
Okay.
I went to court 4
So-
different occasions and she wouldn't appear. They could not locate her. And she's aware that we're trying to serve her.
Okay. You're suing her for 3 slash tires, which I can't find in good conscience that she did, even though probably in the back of my mind that I know that she did because there's insufficient proof. And the other cause of action is for defamation.
Correct.
What's the defamation?
She posted my cell number to social media requesting sexual favors. I was receiving calls and texts
Just a second.
at all hours of the
Wait,
night.
just a second. Can I see what it was that you're alleging someone posted?
Yes.
May I see it?
And you already have the page that has all the different text messages that were coming from the number. And all these numbers...
Just a
have to-
second. Just a
Yes.
second. Oh. That text message that you're referring to came from this phone number that's on here?
Yes, ma'am. If you look at all the messages on that one page, Your Honor, they were all from the Chicago area, the same area that is her zip code for her phone. Her area
My
code.
mom's zip code too.
Shh. So this is not her phone number that created this text
So
message.
that is a screenshot that someone sent me of my number being posted on social media.
I understand that.
Yes.
And you have to connect her with that.
They're all coming from the same area code as hers, Your Honor. I don't know anyone else with the area code in that location. I'm not from the Chicago area. And if you look at that one page of evidence, I received over 10, 15, 20 different contacts, all from the Chicago area, asking for sexual favors.
There's, again, probably true. Either she or someone at her behest. But you understand, there's no proof that it came from her number, that it came from Chicago, that the numbers were the same area code. The area code is in Chicago. Is that what you're
Chicago
telling
area,
me?
that is correct.
Chicago area. Well, that's a very big area, madam.
I've never received any calls or texts from that area code ever before until the incident, at all hours of the night, Your Honor. I'm not a sex worker, in all respect.
So, if you ask me, did she slash the tires? Probably. She admitted to even having a knife. I don't know what Judge Judy is going on about by not saying that she did it. Because in the past, Judge Judy has had no problem, literally no problem, saying, you know what, I'm gonna just judge this because you're annoying me. So I don't necessarily agree with Judge Judy in this, but I guess she makes a good point. There's not enough evidence to tie her to the tires being slashed, other than the fact that they have issues together, as well as she admits to having a knife when she left on the same night that the tires were slashed. It just seems like there's a good enough tie there. But now we move on to the text message issue where someone was basically doxing her and sending her out, and then she was getting a ton of requests in for some mattress bolo. And I feel like something is not adding up. Either this is the evil stepdaughter, not stepmother, or this lady is just not telling the truth about maybe having beef with somebody else. I do know that there is a lot of people in this community that tend to date all around a lot. And perhaps maybe it's an old ex, perhaps maybe it's an old fling. We don't know. But what we do know is that the evidence is not enough for Judge Judy, and she's seems to be getting annoyed. But we're gonna see if she can somehow tie her to all of these crimes. Let's hear what she has to say.
She's going to get caught eventually. Right now, she's been clever.
She needs to be
But
held
she's
accountable,
not
Your Honor.
that clever. So right now, she's going to get caught. Miss Williams,
Yes,
you submitted paperwork to the court when you came here. Is that correct?
yes.
Do you have any proof that the plaintiff ever threatened you?
I'm sorry.
Proof?
That's right. Is not an answer.
Yeah.
No, I couldn't
Just
find
a second. So you have no proof that the plaintiff ever threatened you?
Correct.
Other than the fact that your mother told you it's time for you to go, other than that, did your mother ever threaten you that you can prove? That's either a yes or a no.
No.
I want your address now. Now.
Okay.
Where?
Jacksonville, Florida. I'm still in Florida.
We will verify that with the clerk who took her papers, and we're going to give you that address. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now you have her address. So if you want to file for a protective order, you know where to serve her. And
Thank you.
if she's evading service, you can get substituted service, what they call nail and mail. You mail it to her at her address, which she's given you, and you have a marshal tack it on to her front door, and then she's been served. Got it?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. What about the tires, Your Honor?
I explained to you, you don't have sufficient proof that she slashed your tires. Probably did, but you have no proof. The fact that she threatened to do you harm, the fact that she was there within that period between 10 p.m. when you had dinner and 6 a.m. when you saw the cars is a wide window. She probably did it, but you need proof that she did it, and you don't have it. And you don't have anybody to whom she confessed. You could have brought somebody, if you say she did actually confess to a coworker, you could have brought that witness, but you didn't. You chose to bring a witness who really couldn't contribute to your case. Do you understand? I'm just telling you, with a confession, and you had the tires, and she had the opportunity, and she had the mechanism, but you need something other than that. That's
The threats weren't a confession, Your Honor?
no. Okay. Now, you're counterclaiming for illegal lockout. Forget it. Your mother told you to leave. Money owed for belongings taken without permission. What belongings?
I had 2 bags of clothes still there.
You had 2 bags of clothes.
Yes, I had 2 big bags.
Just a second. And?
2 big bags of clothes. I had my shoes there, my work shoes as well.
Okay.
And then I had this big mattress I left as well. It was an air mattress. Super.
And?
That's about everything.
How did the plaintiff prevent you from getting that?
Because when I contacted them about getting my clothes...
Not them. How did the plaintiff prevent you from getting that stuff?
They changed the lock.
Not they. It's not...
Jasmine and Rika changed the locks, and I could not come and get my clothes.
Not they. You have to have proof that the plaintiff, you see, it works 2 ways.
Yeah.
You have to have proof that the plaintiff did something to prevent you getting your stuff. You went there to get stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You went there to get stuff on the night that her tires were slashed, and you were dragging out bags of stuff.
Not bags. I only had a couple items.
You had a couple of items
Couple items in my teddy bear.
just a second, that you came back to get at 1 o'clock in the morning?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I need to get dressed for work.
Miss Williams, your counterclaim's dismissed. Okay, now you have her address. If you feel as if you still require a protective order, get it. If you had proof that she posted this I'd give you a lot more than you were asking for in your complaint. But you need proof that she posted that, other than the fact that the number comes from Chicago.
I receive at least 10, 15, 20 different attempts to be reached out to me requesting sexual favors from the same area codes.
I said if you can prove that she posted this, I understand the
A
consequence.
witness can confirm.
She also texted me that night. I have a text message from her that night that she slashed the tires.
That says what? That was the night she came by at 1 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah, she lived there.
So, and if that's an acknowledgement that she slashed your tires, we're in business.
That is not.
Right.
Let me see. You say to her, so you going to flatten her tire? I hope you know the cops will be called. How did you know she was going to flatten the tire?
Because she had did it. She sent me all these text messages.
No, but
within,
you don't understand, Miss Williams.
Why,
Nothing in the text
accidentally.
messages before talk about a tire.
Right.
Nothing in the
That's
text messages talk about a tire. And the last thing that it says here is 3:45 in the morning on June 29th. So you're going to flatten her tire. I hope you know the cops will come. Did she respond to that?
Right. She wouldn't respond to none
She
of
doesn't
that.
respond to it.
Right, correct.
Okay, that's all. Your counterclaim is dismissed. You have absolutely no claim against them. I've given you her address. If she continues to harass you and you want to file for a protective order and serve her, I've told you how you can do that. Do you understand?
Yes, Your
Great.
Honor.
Thank you very much. We're finished.
This court is adjourned.
We know that she carries weapons and there was damage done to the vehicle. You can pretty much put the pieces together.
She's a joke, so I figured she was gonna say that. That's what clowns do, so I'm glad she got to do a circus act.
The word on the street that she did it.
I told her girlfriend she ain't paying no bills. I told the bum to get some money, and I guess they didn't like that.
At one point, I thought that we could all be a happy family, but it's clearly not what she wants, and I do feel bad.
You ain't gonna get me to admit to that one.
Well, it looks like Judge Judy finally decided that nobody was going to get their case looked at because no one had any evidence. And this is what's really strange about this whole case. Because everyone came in and seemed pretty reasonable about the whole thing, except the tail end of this whole thing, the daughter came out and started showing all of her true colors in her attitude. She is someone to be reckoned with. I feel like there is a potential that she has some form of narcissism and is able to turn it on and off. And whenever she needs to turn it off, she'll do it. And she looks like a normal, sweet, young lady who would never do such a thing. But then you look at her attitude when she got away with it. And her attitude was like totally screaming, I slashed this woman's tires and I definitely am doing negative things towards her. And I feel like Judge Judy missed an opportunity to crack the hammer down on this one. And I really want to know what you guys think, because I feel like this case needed more time. Definitely no one came prepared, but I think that there is enough evidence that she could get to get this young lady, because I do believe that she did it. And even Judge Judy believed that she did it, but somehow she still gets away with it. So I want to know what you guys think about this. Please leave your comments down below what your thoughts are. Do you think that Judge Judy missed an opportunity? What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments down below.